everybody, it's Symphony Sims here with my first video. So I decided to do a speed build of a starter home. This is base game only, so anyone who has The Sims 4 and the gallery can download it for use. So I ended up having a few issues with this. I recorded this, or I attempted to record it 3 times. It was not very successful the first 2, so this is actually the 3rd time that I built this house. Right here I'm putting some roof on, and roofs can be pretty challenging at sometimes, but this one wasn't too hard. This has a lot of stone accents, which is why it's called Stone Starter, which is where you can find it on the gallery to download if you want. Right here, putting a little porch on, little foundation, just so that it looks a little more interesting than a boring old, box that has nothing on it. The chimney over there, I kind of forgot to paint a little part of it, but don't worry, I go back and do that pretty soon. I was thinking it looked pretty tacky. A lot of this was trial and error for me. This was my first video, of course, so I had a lot of issues trying to get everything to work, but right now it's finally working. So we are putting a little fence around here so that it looks a little more homey than it did. A couple columns to support the roof, or at least make it look like it's supported. The door wouldn't actually fit there with the stairs, so I used move objects and stuck that there. It should work. I haven't play tested it yet, but I will do that pretty soon to make sure it actually works. Then we put the black part on the chimney, put some windows around so that it wasn't looking like a dungeon. Now we're working on the floor plan, which is pretty simple. I mean, it's just 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and then a kind of open concept plan for the rest. Right now we're working on the kitchen, just the cheapest cabinets, the cheapest appliances, everything, because we want to make this affordable for Sims to live in. It's a starter home, of course. And also, I wanted some money to do landscaping out front so that it looked a little better for screenshots and just in general. The upper cabinets, they are quite frustrating because you have to move them up just enough that they don't touch the refrigerator, but they aren't blocking the trim of the wallpaper that I was using. And to get them all aligned, it was pretty challenging, but I finally got it, I think. So now we're putting some lights in there because it was dark, and it is not fun to build in the dark, but I did it for a little while, and now it's lighter again. So now I think, are going to work on, we have to put a garbage can in there. I do not currently have a garbage can. I forgot to put one, like a big one. So I'll put that in there before I put it on the gallery, but it will be there when that's there. Now we are putting in, I think, the living area, which I just put a little TV stand with the cheapest TV so that there would be something to give your Sims some fun in this house. But it's pretty simple. I used a lot of neutral colors so that it would work for most any Sim. There's some blues but a lot of browns and blues in this general living space. A little dining table area for 2 Sims to sit at. Here's the wallpaper or paint that I was using. I used some blue in the kitchen to provide a little color. It wasn't colorful enough for me. It was pretty dull. So one thing that annoys me about The Sims 4 is right now the half wall trim will look like it's outside, which is really frustrating because that color is supposed to be white. So it doesn't look white. It looks like light blue, but it is supposed to be white. I put a few little plants in here just to make it a little more, homey and stuff. I know my house has a few plants in it. Put a couple shelves in there so that you could display a couple items, a clock, a couple photos or pictures or whatever you want to call it. The rug was causing me a couple problems because I couldn't find a size that I really liked, so I scaled up one of the smaller ones, and I think it's pretty cute. It's pretty basic. Now over here we're doing the bedroom. I decided to do a green themed bedroom, so it's kind of a little bit more feminine, but at the same time it can definitely be used for a male sim. And this can hold 2 sims because that is the only bedroom, but it is a double bed, so available for 2 sims to live in. I used a lot of dark brown colors to go with the green because the swatches that we have a lot of dark browns and greens together. The walls are just a brown. I differed the floor. Oh, we're not doing the floor right now. We're doing the bathroom. Okay, well, hopefully we go back and do the floor soon. So this one, the bathroom was causing me a couple problems because, like I said, I built this house 2 times before this time. But the shower and the toilet were on the other side of the bathroom, and I couldn't figure out how I did that until a lot later. But it was frustrating because the mirror was blocking gameplay through to the bedroom, depending on what angle you had it at. I could not figure out how to get the shower. Turns out I had the shower facing the wrong way, which I figure out soon enough. But I currently was trying to figure out a color that I liked with the cabinets. I think it turned out okay. But now I think we're going to put the mirror in. We have to move that out a little bit so the sink is usable, because although I had move objects on and I could have placed it, I don't think I would have been able to use the sink. A little roll of toilet paper because, we need to make this house a little bit lived in. I mean, your Sims are going to be living in it. Then we finally figured out that I had the shower turned the wrong way, and so I fixed that and fixed all the bathroom cabinets and all of that. I think I put a little bit of a soap dispenser on the counter just to make it a little less boring. Oh, put the kitchen sink in there. I guess I forgot about that. Now I hope we do the floors because, yep, there we go. It was looking a little weird without the floors done. I used a black in the bedroom versus a brown in the living area because I think it went better with the green and the dark brown of the other furniture in the bedroom. Now we're putting a few things on the shelves just to make it a little more homey, friendly, lived in look kind of thing. I was trying to make it a little more green, a little cluttered, but definitely not too cluttered. I'm not a fan of a lot of clutter by any means, but it just provides that little extra bit of friendliness, I guess. Then the walls were looking a little bare, so I put a few pictures up around that basic 4 group of things in the living space, and then a greenish color picture, of course, for the bedroom. I needed some green in there because everything's green in that room, minus the walls and the floor. And then I put a couple of the little wall closet thingies on the wall. I was, of course, using only base game, so I couldn't use the closets from Get Together, and there wasn't really space for this starter to have them. Changing the color of the mirror because I wasn't a fan of it. I think we'll be going out to the back porch here soon. Oh, first gotta put in some shoes. But going out to the back porch soon. There is no door to go back there, but I think that it gives a little bit of living space for your Sims who like to have friends over because the inside is a bit cramped. So there's that. I put a little fence around it. I put a tree beside it at the very end, which makes it have a little more shade because during the hot sun of the afternoon, whatever that is, it could get pretty warm and not necessarily fun to be in. So a little bit of shade, some base game tables out here, a few chairs so that your Sims could maybe have a party out here, a grill, make some food. Then we put some wood flooring out on there just to make it look more like a deck because that's what it is. I think now we're going to move on to the landscaping. The landscaping I thought was pretty important for this because it looked pretty boring without it. I used a lot of yellows and oranges to contrast with the blues and grays, seeing as they're complementary colors, I think. The low-lying flowers, those ones that I'm placing right now, are very challenging. Actually, any plant is challenging to place near the foundation because if you get it too close, it'll try to raise it up. And so you have to get it pretty exact, but you don't want it too far from the foundation because then it won't look right. So here's the yellows and oranges I was talking about that give it a little more color, a little more personality, I think. Now we're going to work on the other side of the house of landscaping. More of those low-lying flowers. A couple big bushes to fill up some space without placing a lot of things. More different yellows and oranges, of course, because we can't have too much of the same thing. That will get boring looking. It was a little challenging to place them right exactly how they would actually look okay, but I think I got it. Now I'm moving the house forward a little so the pathway to the front door wasn't so long. I thought it was going to be a bit long for this small house. Like I said earlier, the mailbox and the garbage can I forget to place in the video, but they are on the gallery. Then we wanted a little bit of landscaping back here to make it look a little more overgrown, but it's definitely not overgrown. A little more manicured, a little more lived in. A little pathway over here because there is no back door, so you need to be able to get to the back porch thing, deck. But there you go. And then I'm placing a couple of trees here to give it a little bit of shade and give it a little bit of oomph from the front. But other than that, that's about it. So coming up are the screenshots.